Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to yet another fantastic, beautiful, spectacular Sunday here with us. And welcome back to the Cafe Gracia podcast experience, Cafe Gracia Experience. Again, I have no idea how I title these things, but future me will determine that after this is over. Anyway, hope you guys are enjoying this type of content. The podcast every Sunday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard. We're just here every Sunday with a guest sort. Sometimes I'll probably be here, but it is what it is. This time we have another amazing, beautiful, spectacular guest with us today. And you know how I am when it comes to intros. I let them introduce themselves. So why don't you introduce yourself, esteemed guest of today?
Oh wow. Okay. Hello. My name is Fran DarkStar from Twitter. You might know me for being one of Fidel's moderators, or just someone on Twitter who likes to, draw or make graphic design. Um, yeah, that's all I really can say for now.
Perfect, short, sweet, and to the point. Um, I actually, I actually knew you more as like a editor type of person, but as a graphics designer, I think I've seen some of your stuff before, but I don't remember. It's been like what, 2 years now or a year since we met?
Yeah, I think a year.
Yeah, about a year. Yeah, trying to remember. How did we meet? Now that I think about it, it's like I think it was just commenting on Fidel's wackiness that day, and then that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I met most of my friends here.
Yeah, same. Like Kaiju, all those guys. God,
Yes, sir.
God bless Kaiju. That man is
God.
he
God bless him and his terrible internet.
exactly. I love his
No,
voice.
shout out to Kaiju though. He's a real
Oh
one.
no, I love the dude. I love him so much. I love how I love his voice so much. Especially that one time we were on the voice channel doing our usual shenanigans late at night. He just reminded me of those usual like 1950s like commercials, like the way, and I just can't, like, that's just kaiju. That's just what he is.
I think I can see what you mean now. I can definitely I can
Yeah,
hear that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Based on his Britishness is how I call it. That's how he.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, it's like the going back to like you mentioned like graphic design things like that. Like, quick question,
Mhm.
like, was that like a hobby or is that something you plan on doing? Because you are like 2 years younger than me. Like,
Yeah, I'm 18,
yeah,
I
exactly.
think.
So
Yeah.
you think
I
numbers
think.
don't numbers don't
Hmm.
work good for me. What are numbers?
No, but yeah, graphic design originally started off as just like something I would do for myself as like just a little hobby. Like, back then I was a YouTube creator. Like, I used to make videos more often than now, where I upload like one video every 6 months or whatever. But back then I would just make myself, banners, intros, profile pictures, just whatever I could think of. And now, I'm currently taking college for graphic design, actually, because I feel like now I can probably try to pursue it as a career.
Yeah, dude, I definitely see that because I remember the Pokemon OC banner you did, and also with Blender. I remember that
Uh,
like just now that you did
I
that.
actually I know
Uh,
what you're talking about, but I
yeah.
don't actually use Blender. I've used Source Filmmaker for that.
Uh, well, I don't. I'm not a graphic designer, so I Blender to me is Blender and things like that. Like,
That's fair. That's
yeah,
fair.
no, but it was pretty good, and I'm like, dude, Fran should do more of this type of stuff. Like, I definitely see you.
Yeah.
Like, you should definitely do it, 100%.
I, d-
Like,
I will, yeah,
yeah,
for sure,
yeah,
for sure. I'm practicing like on and off on my own time. I just make whatever I can in that program. So I'll definitely be making more stuff for everyone else to see.
yeah, for sure. But I do want to say one thing though.
What's up?
Why do you have Cynthia as your profile picture right now? Why? Because
Because Cynthia, best Poke Girl?
good answer. Best
Yes,
champion too.
sir.
Best
Yes,
champion too.
sir, bro. Yes, sir. Talk to him, bro.
It's
Talk
it's a
to him.
fact. It's a fact. You have to like.
It's a fact that
Like,
Cynthia is best girl.
like you don't understand. Like, this isn't just because of my nostalgia, because Gen 4 was the Pokemon I grew up with, and
Yeah, same.
yeah, exactly. Like, but even going back to all the other ones, it's like no one can beat Cynthia. Cynthia is a champion.
Cynthia was like,
Like,
and still is like one of the strongest champions, not just because of like her level, but also because of the Pokemon she uses and stuff. Like she doesn't just use, like she doesn't have a theme. Like she doesn't use a specific type
exactly.
like how Wallace or Steven used water and steel respectively. She's like she has really insane Pokemon. She has a pseudo legendary Garchomp, which
That's
is
it.
really
Just
hard
that's
to.
it. Just say that. Everybody else is irrelevant. The rest of her team is irrelevant. Just say the Garchomp, because we all know that was the Pokemon that screwed us over when we were trying to beat her. Like,
There's
forget
also
Spiritomb,
Lucario.
forget about Lucario, forget about Togekiss if you played the Platinum version. Like, you got your ass beat by Garchomp. That was
Yep,
plain and
I know.
simple.
I sure did when I first played that game.
Plus, dude, Garchomp is the dope. I love his design. Out of all the dragon type Pokemon, I love Garchomp. Plus, Ground Dragon. What were they thinking? It's like, yeah, we'll do that, but that's not
There's
legal.
like there's two ground dragons, and they're both really interesting in terms of their designs because they're like sort of contrasts in a way. Like you have Garchomp that looks like this really tough,
Hammerhead
aggressive
Shark.
looking land shark, yeah.
Yep.
And then you have Flygon, which just looks like a little cutesy dragonfly sort of thing, but they're both really tough. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot about Flygon. Flygon was the first ground dragon type. But if you look at
That's
their
right.
move set, though, that you gotta pick Garchomp. With drag, just
Yeah.
because it has Dragon Rush, you gotta pick Garchomp. That's just
I'm gonna
that's
be
just the
honest
reality.
here.
Yep.
Dragon Rush is a decent move to have, but it's definitely not the best. If you use Dragon Rush, you should probably be prepared for the fact that it can miss 25% of the time, unless the opposing Pokemon used a move like Minimize to decrease their evasion, in which case, Dragon Rush will never miss then.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
It's a really interesting move.
Dragon Rush is like a glass cannon move, but when it hits, it hits. I remember back when I had Soul Silver, and then I was about to beat Red. I remember it was like fourth grade, and everybody was like, "Yo, did you beat Red? Did you beat Red?" I'm like, "Who's Red?" I'm like, "Yo, look, we got a friend. We got a friend here in the back because we were in like some sort of like summer camp type of things. We weren't really summer camps. It was like your parents just dropped you off, and it's like, okay, we'll see you at 5. It's like, okay. And during that time, we weren't allowed to have any electronics, but we were bored. We were like, we don't want to run around and play tag all day or play
So you
basketball or
snuck in
baseball.
some
So
DSs.
we had our DSs or DSi XLs back in the day, 2010, 2011, and
Oh,
we were
geez.
just busy playing Pokemon battles against each other. There was good connection where we were, and we were like, let's just play Pokemon. And I remember someone was like, "Yo, I'm gonna beat this like super extra secret boss," and I'm like, "Yo, who is it?" And that like when I saw Red, I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna be the first one to beat him," because nobody beat Red during that week period, and I was at that point where like, yeah, I'm gonna beat up Red. I'll beat him up, and I remember I had finished Diamond, and I was like, I have my level 100 Garchomp, Infernape, Luxray, like Floatzel. I have all those guys on deck. Why don't I just transfer them over? And that's what I did. I transferred them over, and actually no, they weren't level 100s yet. I lied. They were like 70, 80s. They were like within like the same range to beat Red, to try to beat Red. And I remember I spent an all nighter just trying to beat up Red. And when I did, I was like, look what I did, look what I did. I was like, yo, he was the first one that did it. And like, you're a kid, so you got like huge validation rights. And like, everybody was like my friend for like that period of time.
That's like yeah, for sure. Red is like one of the most like difficult battles. Like aside from Cynthia, who's like a battle you have to complete, Red is also really difficult because first off, I think without like any modifications or any like difficulty settings, I think Red has the highest level Pokemon out of any Pokemon trainer in the game, not counting Battle Frontier stuff because those are usually rounded up to like level 100
Yeah.
sometimes.
Really? I thought they usually round up to level 50 most of the time. Because I
Some
remember
are 50,
trying
some
it.
are 100,
Yeah. I never really tried Battle
I think.
Frontiers. I think I'll try do that because I love the concept. I remember watching reviews of Some Call Me Johnny when he was reviewing like Generation 3, Generation 4, where Battle Frontier was like the prominent thing, side stuff.
Yeah,
And it's like,
yeah.
oh, this is like pretty cool. It's like gym leaders, but not. Like there's actually like a limitation to doing like these things, and it's like, I don't know why. I don't know why I did that. I didn't do those. So it's
The Battle Frontier is not just a test of how strong your Pokemon are, it's also a test of how strong you are as a trainer. These Frontier Brains is how these trainers are called. They're not
yeah.
just like your average trainers with like, you know, beefed up AI or whatever. They know what they're doing. They are coded to use competitive methods, and they will kick your butt if you don't come prepared. That's
That's
all I'm
true.
saying.
Okay, yeah, I think I'll boot up the DS again and probably go back to doing my 20th run on platinum just to do that. It's a shame. It's a shame that they didn't revive that in future generations. Like I get that there was like the world championship in Generation 5, but I don't remember much of 6 and 7. Other than 7, they had like the battle tree, but it's not the same. It's like having like a whole
Yeah,
new, you know,
yeah, for
entirely.
sure.
Yeah, because I remember Platinum specifically. Like there was a side story where if you wanted to catch Heatran, you had to like work with Looker, and so you had
Yeah.
like this whole like side mission and things like that. When you finally got to reach Heatran, it was like such a major like accomplishment too, and that's what I love about Generation 4 too, where it's like when you beat up Diamond. Remember, I don't know if you remembered, but remember how hard it was to get Garatina in the original Diamond and Pearl?
I remember like you have to like go to like this like small cave looking area and
Exactly, and you had to have like defog because it was all like foggy and it was like a
defog, rock
maze.
climb, I think.
Exactly,
Yeah.
like you had to have like you have to have that that Pokemon. I forgot how we called them, the
HM slaves.
the HM slaves. We had yeah, you had to have that one. Mine was a B barrel because it's just
Yeah,
it could have
everyone
just
used Earl to
yeah B
do
barrel.
for their HM slaves because they were most compatible with HMs.
Yeah, exactly. It's like finally a normal type that actually works. No, actually
For
not
real
work.
though,
I
Beaverl
yeah.
competitive can be pretty solid, you know?
B Barrel, Linoon, those two are underrated. Especially
That's
Linoon.
right.
Linoon,
Lion?
normal type Linoon, not like I'm not talking about Gen
Not the
8
dark
Linoon.
type one.
Because clearly,
Yeah.
that's meant to be on your team, given like how weirdly balanced Gen 8 is in terms of their typing. Um,
Yeah.
but dude, Linoon, you could give him Shockwave, Hyper Beam, Flamethrower, what a Water Pulse, Dig. Like you could give it whatever it wants, and it's a normal type. It's like, can you imagine just like you're just strolling in the middle of like route whatever in whatever region you're in, and then it's like that youngster Joey type Pokemon trainer's like, I got a strong Pokemon. Look, he tosses his Pokemon, and then like you just throw in your Linoon, and it's like a level 100 Linoon that just has Hyper Beam or whatever. It's just like, what the fuck is this? So yeah, don't.
I'm gonna be honest here. Linoon, if you want to use a Linoon for competitive, I would say don't carry Hyper Beam because Linoon is more of a physical attacker. If you want a really strong Linoon, what you can do is give it the ability Gluttony, which makes it so it eats berries a lot earlier than it normally does to like heal itself. Give
Right.
it an Ayapapa berry, which heals itself by like half health, I think, has if it has a certain nature, it gets confused, but the nature you want to give your Linoon would be Adamant or Jolly. Actually, no, Adamant, because that boosts attack. And then for the moves, you can give it Belly Drum, which what
Oh,
that
yeah.
does is it maximizes your attack, but you lose half of your HP. But with the berry, you pretty much gain most of it back.
I
So
see.
you got that, and then you got Extreme Speed, which is a base 80 plus 2 priority normal type move, meaning you'll be able to outspeed a lot of things with that move, and it's base 80 plus stab. You'll be doing a lot of damage with that move.
Yes, assuming you are a competitive person. I just play Pokemon because it's just fun. I'm not much of the
Yeah.
competitive type. It's just like literally, if you look at all my Pokemon, none of them have a passive move set. They all have attack moves because it's like
Oh,
I'm
jeez.
I'm gonna attack first anyway. So and these are NPCs. I'm not
Yeah,
much
that's
for
fair. Like,
competitive.
yeah, like you're not gonna really try hard that much in story mode because the AI isn't like that difficult.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's just like now. If I was eager to do competitive, I would just spectate it. I would be more. It would be like a spectator sport for me, much like how I
That's
would
fair.
watch like Tekken, Smash. Like
That's
I wouldn't
fair.
want to be involved. Yeah, exactly.
Getting into competitive is it can be really intimidating because of how like intricate it is. Like, oh, you got to memorize all these like type matchups and IVs and EVs and base powers and base stats and there's a lot. There's a lot really.
You lost me at Eevees, and I was thinking about the evolutions, and I'm like, oh yeah, my favorite evolution is actually which one is my favorite? You could which was yours? Like I gotta think about mine.
Honestly, my favorite one would probably be Glaceon.
I was about to guess Glaceon for you. I was like, Fran looks like a Glaceon type of fan.
Yes, sir. But I
Yeah.
also really love Sylveon.
Now for me, I know which one I like. I really like Vaporeon, but that's because
Vaporeon's
yeah,
cool.
I love its design. I really really do. Umbreon second, and Espeon's third. Like in that order for me. Like Vaporeon, Umbreon, Espeon.
Yeah, in my opinion, honestly, like even though I think Glaceon and Sylveon are the best, I still think all the evolutions are amazing in their own way. Like
Yeah.
they all have
Oh,
really cute
definitely.
designs, and they all have like really cute like yeah, they have cute designs, and they have like a really interesting like lore behind them. Like how I don't know if you know about this, but
I
Umbreon, like we all know Umbreon's a dark type, but
yeah.
the dark type in Japan is actually called the evil type for some reason
I think
because
I
they
yeah
associate purpose of evil. But the
yeah.
thing is, there are Pokemon that are dark type but aren't evil. Umbreon being one of them. Umbreon's just dark because it likes like playing in the dark. It likes the moonlight.
Right, and that's why you have to have friendship with it while you're leveling up at night. Same, and it's
Exactly. That's where it all comes together.
yeah. I hate those that you have to have a high friendship to level them up, and because I'm trying to remember like how did I level up Riolu to Lucario? He was literally just EXP sharing while I just did a VC seeker on, but it's just a I feel like it's such a stupid mechanic, but at the same time, I get the incentive behind it. Where it's like, oh, you want to use more than one Pokemon, and there's certain Pokemon that you really like that can evolve to this. But it's like, no, I'm not gonna spend time catching a Pichu, be friends with it, so that it evolves into a Pikachu. I could just go to Viridian Forest and be like, Pika? Yeah, all right, let's go. Like it's I'm not like I appreciate their incentive, but it's like nah, I can't.
Yeah, like catching a baby Pokemon, like how you mentioned, like catching Pichu, as opposed to just going into Viridian Forest or wherever and catching a Pikachu, there's really not much of a plus side. I know some Pokemon that are pre-evolved can learn certain moves at like a lower level until they evolve. Like, for example, one Pokemon can learn, let's just say, like this is an example. I'm not sure if this is like a specific example, but
Right.
one Pokemon can learn like Flame Wheel at level like 27, but if it evolves, it learns it at like level 45. Like that's just an example.
Yeah, I think I know some Pokemon that does it, and there's some where it's like, for example, going back to evolutions, where like you basically have to, if you really want your Jolteon, Flareon, or like Vaporeon early moves, you gotta hatch it as an egg. You either gotta hatch it as an egg, as an Eevee egg, and then give it the stone that it needs, and then you just level it up from there. Because having
Yeah.
like a level 10 Eevee, you gotta you can't you gotta keep it in the box. until you're able to go to whichever city has the iconic store department where you can get all the TMs you need, all that stuff.
There's also the move reminder. Like, let's say you get a Pokemon at like level 1, like you get a level 1 Jolteon, but it has Eevee's moves, and you don't want it to have Eevee's moves. You want it to have, like the moves it starts off with.
Yeah.
You could go to the move reminder and, like, for example, for Jolteon, you could go to the move reminder and you could have it remember Thundershock because by default it has Thundershock at level 1, but if you evolve it from Eevee, it won't have it. So you can just go to the reminder, like the move reminder, and you get the move.
Yeah, but where do you normally find move reminders? They're usually like around like the fourth and fifth city, right? There's always a pattern.
Pokemon
Yeah.
games, like it's usually around the third, maybe fourth, or sometimes fifth city. But in Sword and Shield, they actually made it so the move reminder is in every Pokemon Center now, which is a really good quality of life change, in my opinion.
Oh, that's smart. What was your take on Sword and Shield? Because
I'm gonna be honest.
I haven't played those games yet, and I want to simply because of the expansion passes they did, but when it first released, I'm just gonna hold.
I am going to be 100% honest right now. As a longtime Pokemon fan, I've been playing Pokemon for over a decade now. Been invested into this series very heavily. This is probably my favorite franchise ever. So, as a Pokemon fan, Pokemon Sword and Shield, well, they're okay. Like, the games definitely have improved in some aspects compared to the old games, with a lot of quality of life changes which were needed for so long. But they also, evolve backwards in terms of some of the things they've done. Like,
You can't
for
evolve
example,
backwards, Fran. You revert backwards.
well, actually, if you remove the shelter off a Slowbro, it turns into Slowpoke. No, but for real though.
I was so close to just end the footage and be like, all right, we're done here. I say, get out. No, but okay.
No, for real though. Yeah, like it's definitely improved in some ways, but it's also like, not. It hasn't done a great job in executing some other ideas. Like, first off, move tutors completely gone. Like, I don't know why they removed tutor moves like knockoff or pursuit or whatever. But they just got rid of those moves like altogether. Like, if you try to transfer a Pokemon with like, say, the move return, which is a normal type physical move that does more damage the more friendship your Pokemon has.
Yeah.
If you were to transfer a Pokemon from Gen 7 into that move into Gen 8, you would not be able to use that move at all because that move is not coded into the game, or at least it's locked. Like, if you try to select it, it just says, you cannot use this move. It's best to forget it or something, which is, like, it's dumb because why would you need to remove these moves? They weren't broken. They were pretty balanced, and a lot of people used them. They weren't useless moves like freaking, what's a useless move? Splash. Well, actually, no. Splash can be useful in some instances.
How can Splash be useful? You got my how?
Let me
Explain.
tell you. Let me enlighten you. So, back in Gen 7, they introduced this mechanic called Z crystals. I'm sure you've heard of them, right?
Yes, I'm aware of that.
So, if you were to give, say, a Normalium Z, because Splash is a normal type move, if you were to give a Normalium Z to whatever Pokemon you want, for example, Mimikyu, and you use Z Splash, you actually get a +3 attack boost from that, which is a pretty useful attack boost,
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's gimmicky, but it's really fun to use because it's unexpected. Like, I had this set back in like this one website I play on called Pokemon Showdown, which is like a competitive Pokemon battling simulator.
Okay.
I have this Mimikyu that, like, I have Z Splash, I have Shadow Sneak for priority Ghost type attacks, Play Rough for Fairy types stab, and I forgot what the other move is. I think I also had Shadow Claw for crits. But a lot of the times, people like when they see me send out Mimikyu, they assume, oh, he's gonna use Swords Dance to increase his attack by 2 stages. Let me taunt him so he can't do it. But the thing is with Z crystals is that you can't taunt a Z crystal, meaning that you could still get an attack boost and completely disorientate your opponent. It's really fun.
Yeah. I never got my hands on Gen 7 games because I I didn't say I wasn't bored with Pokemon, but the fact that they changed of the a lot of the gameplay aspects of it, it's like I'm
It
just
was
gonna
overwhelming.
exactly. I'm not gonna take a break from it. Like
That's
X and
fair.
Y were good. I like them,
I
especially
love
since
X and Y.
they were like the first games to come out on the 3DS, and
Yeah.
I. But then like Sun and Moon, I'm like I don't. First of all, like Alolan forms, like really, you're not. I feel like you're just wasting slots for even better Pokemon that could have the same, thing. Like I like the premise though, but I feel like they were just wasted slots for newer Pokemon. And I feel like as each generation goes on, there's just less and less newer type of Pokemon. I don't know if you've noticed that.
Yeah, for sure. Like in Gen 5, they introduced like at least 120. Hold on. Let me actually see how many
I
Pokemon they
think for
introduced in
them
Generation
it was actually 150 something new ones.
156.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Because
Like,
no, go
sorry, you
continue.
were saying?
No, you go.
Okay. Like in Gen 5 they introduced that many Pokemon, but then in Gen 6 they introduced like new like 70-ish new Pokemon. Like it was in the 2 digits. Like they didn't have that many new Pokemon. But what they did do is what they had a lot of like new forms. Like they had Mega Evolutions.
Yeah, and
They had primal forms for
yeah,
Kyogre and
Kyogre,
Groudon.
Groudon. Yeah.
Like they played around a little more with their existing Pokemon as opposed to just making new Pokemon, which I didn't mind at all. Like
Yeah, I
it
don't.
was a nice little thing they
Yeah, I
did.
don't. I like the ideas. I like Mega Evolutions, things like that. But I don't want to have them overwork. I'm not saying for them to overwork on like stuff and things like that. But if you look back at like from Generation One to Generation Four, especially Generation Four, since I feel like you'll probably agree when I say that Generation 4 was like the perfect era of Pokemon. It was like the generation to be a Pokemon fan.
Honestly, yeah, I feel like a lot of modern day Pokemon fans started their journey in Generation 4, and
Yeah.
it's a fairly good gen to start with. Like, in my opinion, looking back to Gen 4 and playing it now, it's a little like slow for me, but that's just because the game is old. Like, I'm not gonna, like hate it because oh god, this game is so slow. I cannot like enjoy this at all. Like, it's just more like it's still Pokemon in the end.
Yeah, plus you were
It's
like a
just
6, 7 year old kid when Generation 4 came out. Like you just enjoyed the mystery dun like funny enough, I've said this I think when I had a podcast with Koro or was it somebody else? I think it was somebody else. Um I talked about how Platinum Diamond were my first Pokemon games. My first Pokemon games were the Mystery Dungeons for the DS, Explorer of Time, Darkness, and Sky. And even those spin-off games, you saw the amount of love and devotion those guys had when it came to Pokemon. Because if you compare Generation 5 and then onwards, I'm not saying there's no love for those generations, but if you, I mean, come on, let's talk about Generation 4 as a whole. Which, by the way, self promotion time, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't seen the Pokemon 25th anniversary video that I did a few weeks back, there's gonna be a card popping up right about now. Watch that, forget about us, and then come back to us if you actually remembered us. And yeah. Anyway, so basically, yeah, there's gonna be a lot of these moving forward, but Generation 4 for this was basically Generation 4. You had the 3 mystery dungeon games I mentioned. You had Diamond, Pearl, Poke Park for the Wii, Battle Revolution for the Wii. You had I think I mentioned Heart Gold Soul Silver. You
Mhm.
there was the anime show was doing well. It was still, on its
Movies
peak.
too.
Movies, you had Rise of Darkrai. I remember watching that one so many times. There was also you could also count this one as Gen 4 because it did had a Gen 4 Pokemon before officially releasing it as a Gen 4 Pokemon, which was Lucario and the Mystery of Mew. You had
VGC, which started around
yeah,
2009 from
exactly. And
Pokemon Platinum.
let's
Yeah.
talk about let's also talk about the trading cards too, like Heart Gold Soul Silver, the first ones that were released. Then you had HGS Undaunted. Then you had Unleash. Then you had like it was a perfect time to collect all of that, to play all of those games, to
Bro,
watch the anime.
bro, like at school, we would like there was like this like little sort of like section in our school playground where we would just like meet up and like trade or look at each other's Pokemon cards, and it was probably my first ever foray into the Pokemon series. I just see someone like pull out a Pokemon card. I'm like, what is that? I look at it and I'm like, whoa, that thing looks really cool.
Um,
I want to be a Pokemon fan now.
I'm gonna if I could find them, I'm gonna send you pictures of how some of the cards that I still kept around 2010 2011, they're still perfectly conditioned. I gotta find that folder though. I still have those cards. Like I have them like curated in my little museum, and it was just a perfect time to enjoy all that stuff. It just was, and every single time I look at you can make the case for Generation 5 too, because Generation 5 was like, more new Pokemon. They were advancing. They were still doing the formula of what the previous four games were, but Generation 6 and onwards, they don't have an identity. You get what I'm saying? And if they do, it's not strong. And
It's Yeah, I can kind of see what you mean. Like Generation 6 and beyond, the games feel less like I don't know, but I don't know how to say it, but like they feel more commercial, if that makes
yeah,
sense.
exactly. It's more of like, yeah, okay, this is Pokemon. Here you go, more like, and
It's less like made like the Pokemon games, in my opinion, recently have been made less for the hardcore fans and more so for like casuals to get into the series. Which again, don't get me wrong, that's not a bad thing. Like it's always good to have like bring in new fans to your series so they can enjoy it. But like it just feels like it's only made for them, and like there's rarely any like fan service or whatever for older fans
exactly,
nowadays, at least.
and that's why I really wanted a Sinnoh remake. And
Oh boy, here we go. Sinnoh remakes.
look, I have a theory. I did a theory on the video that I just self promoted, where it's like, okay, if we look back at Generation 3, you had Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, which was the definitive edition. But then you had
Yeah.
remakes of the first generation, so they skipped back a generation, and they gave us Fire Red, Leaf Green. You can't
Yes.
argue. You can't argue that they're not remakes. They're clearly remakes because of the graphical design that they have for them. It's a remake.
Yes. That's
Gener-
true.
then Generation 4, you had Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, Definitive Edition. Then you had Heart Gold, Soul Silver remakes for Gen 2.
Yeah. And
Then
then in Gen
Generation
6.
5, Generation 5, there wasn't one. They skipped a generation, just like in Generation 2, they skipped a generation. Like they didn't remake for the Game Boy colored red, blue, green, and yellow because there's no point really, graphically speaking. But
Yeah.
then Gen 6, they're like, oh, we'll just bring back Gen 3.
Yeah.
And so you see the pattern that I'm going with, where it's like
The pattern here, like not counting Generations 3, the pattern here is that the games they remake are the number that is divisible by 2. Like for example, Generation 3
exactly,
remakes were with the Gen 6 engine, 3 plus 3, or 3 times 2 is 6. And with Gen 4, they remade Gen 2, 2 times 2 is 4. And with Gen 8 right now being a thing, and Gen 4 being rumored, 4 times 2 is 8.
exactly.
So it's like,
That's it. Done. That's it. That's an Emmanuel Friend theory. They're uploaded. Now
but
now
that's
we
not the only thing. Like that's
obviously
that itself is just a theory. Like that doesn't confirm anything. It's just a little pattern. Maybe it's a
right.
pattern that could be broken any like time Game Freak wants to. but there have been signs that have pointed to Diamond Pro remakes being a thing.
I really want it. I really want it to be a thing. It has to be. Like I said, like Sinnoh is the GOAT. I don't care if you make the case that it was too slow, things like that. You could easily fix that with a remake. What do you like?
Exactly. Like that's one thing I'm looking forward to about this remake. Like
Exactly.
the games are gonna be fast. They're gonna be great to enjoy. It's gonna be like an amazing like callback to my first ever Pokemon game that I played, which was Pearl.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And like we get to see Cynthia again in better
Yes,
quality too.
sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir. Yes,
sir.
sir. God damn it. I got
uh,
Fidel be what Fidel is, right?
Fidel has infected us with his speech patterns.
Fidel effect. I remember one time, you know Ali, right?
The artist?
Yeah, the artist.
Yeah, I know her.
I remember one time I posted one of my meme pictures on Twitter, and she's like, "Is that Fidel?" I'm like, "Are you joking?" Hold up. That's not. Hold up. Wait. Bless her soul too, because she just realized that Elizabeth Olsen from WandaVision is the younger sister to the Olsen twins, and I'm like, poor Allie. It's like, just pat her head and just call it a day. Just that's it. Like,
God bless her soul. You know?
Yeah, I love her. She's the best though. I love her art. I love her art.
Her art is very cute. Yes, I agree.
I
love it.
It's very personalized. That's what I like about her art. It shows exactly the type of person that she is.
You look at it and it's like, yes, that art was made by Ali.
Exactly. Perfect. Like she doesn't even have to like do a signature on it. It's like you know it and you know it. Like, and I talked to Koro about it too because I was commenting about his art style, which you and we have profile pictures of his work because it's goated work. Like it's tangent. It's goat work.
Koro is so underrated. I don't understand. Like I think I started following him before he even reached 500 followers.
Same here.
Koro is like, my god, he is a god at art. Like he just nails that like glossy, cartoony art style really well. And
exactly. And
if you saw last night, he actually posted a GIF of Fidel's like icon thing in the Friday Night Funkin' style, and oh my god, it's accurate.
I love it. I love it. I love his art, and I remember just talking about it when I did the session with him, and I just love how passionate he is about it. Like he loves doing it, and he will always say this. He will always repeat this, even if he doesn't say it all the time. Like he thanks every single one of us for the love and support that we give to him. Like he is forever indebted to that. Like he's grateful for all that.
Yeah. He's just amazing. Shout out to Koro, shout out to Koro.
Shout out to Koro. And if you want to see that podcast session, there'll also be a card right up popping up as soon as I finish the sentence with my session with him. You should totally check that out as well. He's a wonderful guy.
Check it out.
Also that Rouge the Bat picture though, like.
Oh my god, bro! That Rouge the Bat picture. Can we discuss about it?
Yes and no, because I got to keep this child friendly and to a degree.
Okay, that's understandable.
You can't. Even though I put on YouTube, no, it's not for kids. It's technically, screw it. You know what? Fuck them kids. Yeah, dude, that Rouge the Bat thing was like freaking goated. It was amazing. I loved it. You went off. Clearly, you and your furriness went off.
Yes, sir. And then he replied to me with a picture of Blaze and Rouge making out, and I was like, what the hell is this?
Dude,
And he said it reminded me of him. I just think it's funny that when people see Blaze the cat, they think of me. It feels weird.
I think because they associate the color purple to you, because that's
maybe.
Yeah, that's probably is. But who is it is your favorite character, Sonic character, right?
Yeah, of course. Blaze is
Yeah,
amazing.
exactly. That's it. It's like saying like mine's not really Big the Cat.
Bayonetta.
Yeah,
Oh, wait, you mean
exactly.
Sonic character?
Much like how like I'm like yeah Bayonetta. There we
Yeah,
go.
Bayonetta. Like, I see
There's
Bayonetta,
my
I think of
quota.
you.
There's my quota. I am the son of Bayonetta. I mean that is who I am on Twitter, right? I'm the son of
It's
Bayonetta.
true. That's
That's
true.
I've branded myself to that. That's
It's literally there. Yep.
yeah exactly. But my favorite Sonic character is actually I actually like Tails.
Tails is cool. I
But
agree.
if I'm talking specifics, I'm talking about during the Griffin era
If-
of voice actors, like that Tails I'm talking about. Not just Tails as a character, but in terms of voice, to me, like Tails during the Rider Unleash and the X era.
Sonic X.
That's the voice. Yeah, and that's the voice that I like the most about Tails.
Tails had like a lot of Sonic characters had like really perfect voices like back then. Like Tails, one of them. Amy. With Sonic though, in my opinion, I feel like Sonic can have whatever voice he can because I don't know, like it's
Yes
weird.
and no. Yes and
You would
no.
you would think that like for the main character, you would prefer them to have like the same voice actor for like every game. Like I know if in Japan they've had the same voice actor for Sonic since like
Right.
1998 or something when Adventure One released.
No, before that, 96 when the OVA released.
Oh, right. I forgot about the OVA. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
but like, in the West, it's like they've been changing voice actors for Sonic. Like they just recently announced, like Roger Craig Smith just said he's stepping down,
Yeah, I
quote
remember
unquote,
that. Quote unquote.
from the
Sadly,
role of being Sonic,
if
unfortunately.
if,
Which
if we're being real here, they probably just they threw him out. They're like
yeah, like
they threw him out.
one of Roger's friends actually like quote tweeted his tweet, and like they were a little like it seemed like they were genuinely angry at Sega because uh it, it 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 looked like they were mad at Sega because they thought that Sega like fired him or laid him off when like that hasn't been officially confirmed. But like
Exactly. No, but there's clear
but Roger has
indications.
denied it. So like I feel
Right.
like I feel like it's like Sega has done something like because like Sega hasn't really been known for being too transparent. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that's true. Like they clearly threw him out, and because they probably my guess is that they really enjoyed Ben Schwartz, and they're like, let's make a deal with you.
Here's
And
the thing, though. Here's the
that's
thing.
how I feel.
I think it's been confirmed that Ben Schwartz hasn't been approached by Sega to voice
Yet.
act for Sonic in the games. We're not sure if that means they haven't decided on a voice yet and they're still deciding who they want, or if they've already chosen who they want and just nobody else knows. So Ben doesn't know if, like, oh, they chose someone
Well,
already, so I'm out of the picture, or they haven't chosen anyone yet, so I don't know if it's going to be me or not.
if they do decide, I hope it's Max Middleton, Ryuji.
Max Milton is a really great voice actor, and I can definitely see him fitting for
Yeah, I
Sonic.
see it. Cause when I saw like those fan clips of putting Sonic's face and then like his Ryuji lines or just his voice in general, it reminded me a lot of the Ryan Drummond and Jason Griffith era, because it has like
It
the
has like
same tone and inflection and the same attitude. Because it's
it
like
has like the attitude of Ryan Drummond, but the voice and the
of
tone of Jason Griffith, and I feel like that's a
exactly,
really good
and
blend for
that's a
Sonic.
really good combo. And like I would definitely vouch for Max Middleton to be the next Sonic. I'm not saying that. Yeah, and I'm not saying that I didn't enjoy Roger Craig Smith's, because he was a good Sonic, but
I agree.
he had terrible scripts. Like the
That
writers had no idea what they wanted to do with Sonic. Like let's be real. Like Roger Craig Smith's era was basically Saturday morning cartoons.
yeah, like that's why everyone enjoyed Sonic Boom because that was basically just a Saturday morning cartoon.
Exactly. It
Like
literally was. It literally
where
was that.
everyone agrees, like everyone universally agrees that Roger Craig Smith was at his peak during that, like in Sonic Boom, the TV show. He was amazing there. But
Yeah,
when it comes to the games, there's a lot of
but
debate over
that's it. We don't mention the games. We don't talk about that. We don't.
that.
No. Shh, 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 shh. But yeah, I know what you're saying. Like, um, but I mean, like, another thing also is that the way that Roger Craig Smith portrayed Sonic was that, and I said this numerous times already, that it made Sonic sound like an asshole rather than like a good friend that can be an asshole. Like, you get the difference?
Yeah, like Sonic, we all know Sonic as like that young, cocky little teenager that
Because he is.
loves to have fun. And like he is, obviously.
Like, look, I'm gonna pull up what like the storybook series, like just some of his lines, and then I'm gonna compare it to colors, and like you'll
Oh my
see
god.
you'll see what I mean, right? And
The
while I'm
writing,
searching, yeah.
the
Also,
writing in
while
storybooks and oh sorry.
no, continue. Say what you're gonna say while I'm searching it.
Like the writing between like the storybook era or even just like the '06 to Black Knight era, between that writing and the writing of like colors to forces, it's just night and day. Like one Sonic was like more serious but still playful and like had a little like bit of cockiness to him, while the other Sonic was more like, yeah, whatever. I'm Sonic. I'm the fastest thing around. Yeah, it's whatever. Like I don't know.
You know
He
what?
didn't feel like as serious as a character.
I think I found a good voice line. Yeah, okay.
It goes by the name Caliburn.
This better.
Kinda sorry looking.
Yeah, exactly. Like just his voice.
You are the chosen.
Damn it! Shut up.
The sword has
Okay, this is a bad example, but you get what I mean. Like the way he spoke, the way he was like, I'm your friend. I'm here for you in need, and I'm also kind of like a shonen protagonist because that era had like shonen protagonist tropes. Like, dude, like let's be real. Aside from the storybooks, like being isekai, and then you had like the writers, where it's like the Babylonian BS like truth came out. Look,
Yeah.
Sonic's era. Another reason why I love Jason Griffith's era was they were ambitious with trying to make Sonic as like a historical narrative for their world, while also putting in like advanced technologies into the mix. Like if you put,
Yeah.
and that's why I love like Sonic Riders, which they gotta bring it back. Like in Sonic Riders, Sonic Zero Gravity, like just having like that setting of like everything sort of like advanced tech, but there's still like archaeological stuff. Like, dude, that works perfect for Sonic. What do you think people loved Unleash or the Adventure series? Or even if you dissect all the glitchiness of what makes Sonic 06 the bad game that it is, it had a decent story. It had good characterization. What the hell happened to
Yeah.
all that? And like,
I feel like, yeah, like I really want like these new writers for the next games to bring back that era of Sonic, because I'm not sure if you heard, but with Roger leaving, the writers are also leaving as well. There was like an interview that happened not too long ago. They like mentioned how it was a fun ride, which basically implies that they're not working on any more Sonic games.
yeah,
Which I will be honest, right now,
it's a good thing.
I'm glad.
It's a good
I'm
thing.
glad. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not gonna diss the
for
writers
real.
for doing their thing. Like, I just feel like in terms of writing for Sonic, what they had in mind didn't fit like Sonic and like what everyone was expecting. I'm not dissing the writers at all. I'm sure they can do amazing stuff for like other franchises or whatever. It's just like in terms of Sonic, they weren't, doing that well, if that makes sense.
No, they weren't. Like I just said, like it was too childish.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like you can make a childish, you can make Sonic childish, but still have a good and like strong and deep premise. Like, what do you think we again?
Like Sonic is 15. He's not like an absolute child. Like he knows
Exactly.
like the world, and he
Not-
knows like
And you know what's a perfect
way around.
example of what I mean by that? Sonic
yeah.
Heroes.
Give me an example.
Sonic Heroes.
Yeah,
it was fun, sort of like kid friendly, blah blah blah, things like that. But it had a strong premise where it's like a robot's gonna take over the world, and Eggman wasn't actually behind it. That was also another thing I liked about that era. Eggman was a villain, but he wasn't the villain.
Yeah, like he always like he appeared as like, you know,
He
a character, and he definitely like played a role in some cases, but he was never like the boss of like the final boss of every game during that time. Like Adventure 1, you had Perfect Chaos. Adventure 2, you had the Bio Lizard, and Heroes, you had that like giant, what was it, Mecha Sonic, Metal Sonic?
I think it was called Metal Hazard. Not Metal Hazard. Metal. Yeah, I'm also looking it up. Sonic Heroes, Metal Overlord.
Yes, Metal. There we go.
Try to reach inside of me. Try to take my energy. Let me show you just what I'm made of. That was also another thing. Crush 40, dude.
Crush 40. Oh my god. Can we talk about how amazing, like, how fitting their music is from the Sonic franchise?
Exactly.
Like, even during the era of, like the, some would say the dark ages of Sonic, like from 06 to Black Knight, some would argue that Crush 40, like, or not no one would argue, but like Crush 40 did an amazing job for those games. They just like
they've always have. They've like
they exactly.
Like, oh, open your heart, live and learn. Taken from the edge of tomorrow, live and learn from the works of yesterday.
Oh, jeez, I didn't know we had karaoke here.
Sometimes I like to pop in some Sonic songs here and there. Like Koro and I, we were singing a few of Sonic R soundtrack. Well, I was, and he was just mentioning it, and I was like, dude, that's like my car ride music. Like whenever I'm driving, I just pop in Sonic R.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Imagine speeding with Sonic R music.
It'd be the funniest thing ever. It's like, sir, do you know why I stopped you? I was going fast. I'm sorry. Gotta go fast. Sir.
And you just drive on like, just drive away.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, Sonic was just, it was, I feel like it wasn't at its dark ages. It was at its peak, but in small in weird intervals. Because you had Sonic Adventure 2, that was sort of like a peak, and then it kind of like dropped a little bit with Heroes, and it dropped even further with Shadow the Hedgehog. Well, I wouldn't say too down, because Shadow the Hedgehog wasn't that bad of a game.
It was like its own thing. Like you wouldn't.
It was its own. It was like its own category.
Sonic franchise. You wouldn't really call it a Sonic game, so there wasn't like anyone was mad at it for existing.
Yeah, exactly.
Hold up, I got pinged in the server.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Okay.
All right. That's just. Sorry, guys. Gotta retrace my shit. Okay. But yeah, that's just what I want, and I think many people. I think like for sure Johnny, because I remember he was tweeting about how he wanted something similar to an Unleashed style concept.
Oh my god, yes.
And I'm like, you gotta give us something that's you gotta give us Adventure 3.
Adventure 3, oh my god, like
that's it.
A lot of people say that Sonic 06 is Adventure 3.
I say that.
There are similarities. Like there are similarities between Adventure 1 and 2 and 06. First off, they introduced a new protagonist. Technically, I don't know what the word is, but like he's not an antagonist, but you do fight him, much like how you fight Shadow in Sonic Adventure 2.
Yeah.
But he's not a bad guy. They introduce Silver. They introduce like again, Eggman is in the game, but he's not like a main boss. Like there's Mephiles and what's the Iblis trigger and Solaris at the end. And like that fits the whole like theme of what Adventure 1 and 2 did with Perfect Chaos and the Bio Lizard.
Exactly, yeah. And again, like I've said this already with Koro, but it's like you gotta utilize your characters, Sega. Like you have Shadow there, you have Silver there, you have all those characters, and you're not using them. Like the last time you used them were for cameos in the final cutscene before beating the boss in Sonic Generations.
Every character that isn't Sonic nowadays just feels like a background character.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, that's just how it is. Like, you can't play as any character other than Sonic. In Forces, you could play as Sonic, you could play as Small Sonic or Classic Sonic, and you could play as, custom Sonic or your own furry OC if you ever make one.
Your persona.
First,
Yeah.
exactly.
It just sucked. It really sucked, and I hope they give us something that the fans are actually looking forward to, and I hope Sonic Prime, the show, isn't just another Saturday morning cartoon show just on Netflix. Like, I actually want depth. I actually want like something that I'm willing to watch. If not, I'll just. If not, I'll just.
We're not sure if we're gonna delve into depth because that might be a little too dark. Because they said they want to make it for. Yeah, I know what you mean. Like,
exactly.
They actually mentioned, like, in the synopsis of the Sonic Prime show, they mentioned how Sonic has to go through like redemption, or redemption, I think, which like implies that like maybe Sonic did something, or like he didn't do something in time or whatever, and like it costed something like important to him. And I feel like I have faith in the Sonic Prime show. Like I think it will be good.
I hope so.
I want to go into it.
Yeah, let's hope so. But for now, I'm just binge watching on Sherlock Holmes shows and stuff like that, as well as Attack on Titan. Just waiting for that Attack on Titan. Also, there's GOAT Piece. I forgot about GOAT Piece. You ever saw GOAT Piece?
I have never watched or read One Piece, and I don't think I ever will, just because of how long it is.
Damn, I thought we were friends. I'm gonna tell. I'm gonna show this. I'm gonna show this to Koro now, and Koro's gonna. He's gonna have a chat with you. No, that's it. No. You set this live. We're posting this. Everything. Once this gets posted, I'm gonna show this clip out of context to Koro. I'm gonna expose you. It's gonna be cancel culture. Bye, friend.
My career is over. No.
I didn't even have one. I didn't even know I had one. Like, but. No, but. No, it's fine. I understand why not many people like One Piece, but it's like if your argument is because it's long, then okay, fair, it's long, But if you're gonna say it's mid because it's long, it's like no. I'm sorry.
When Fidel says like mid piece, I say it as like a joke because I like messing with people. Like, I don't actually think One Piece sucks.
No,
I'm sure it's a good series. I hear a lot of people talk about it, and
it's
like one of the most popular animes.
It's legit the best and number one, I think, series sold, and probably number one at this moment, because
that's impressive.
One Piece is look, Oda is a GOAT for a reason, and the reason why is because he can make you fall in love with a character that looks like a side character, and he will be the GOAT for that arc. Like, literally, like, he will make the most wackiest of characters, but because he wants to personalize every single individual you meet along the way. That's what makes One Piece. Exactly.
I will agree with.
And
I've seen the characters, and it's impossible to find two characters that look exactly the same. They all have like a unique style to them, and that's really cool in my opinion.
Exactly, and Luffy is not just like your regular MC that wants to climb to the top and things like that. Hell, he just doesn't care. Literally, all he wants is just go on an adventure. Like, yeah, he says he wants to be the king of the pirates, but in actuality, all he wants to do is just be a pirate. He just wants to like just have fun and just do shit. That's literally Luffy in a nutshell. Like, everything that he does isn't because he's like a hero or things like that. Like, Luffy hates being called a hero. He knows he's a villain in the eyes of civilians. It's just all the stuff that he does is for selfish reasons. It's because a friend asked him to. Like, all the major arcs that you see him going into an island that has like some ancient kingdom or whatever, like, storyline. The reason why he does that is because he saw his... Literally, one of the reasons why he almost destroyed an entire city is because of the princess of that kingdom wanted to buy him lunch.
Why?
Because that's Luffy. Luffy, like, that's just who he is. He's like, oh, you're gonna buy me lunch? All right, you're a friend. Oh wait, this person is invading your like. That's just who he is. Luffy isn't there because because he's like a good person. No, he just wants to travel. He just wants like, it's just pure coincidence that he just happens to have to beat up that person, like that villain. It's just by pure coincidence or because someone told him he had to do it. He's like, oh, fine, whatever, I'll do it. Like, that's just Luffy.
That's
That's why many people love One Piece, because it's a shonen anime, but rarely dives too deep into those shonen tropes.
it's more casual in a sense, right?
Yeah,
Like,
and another
It's less like top with like being set on like a certain goal. It's more like just like it's more about exploration, like how you said. Like it's not
Exactly.
There's no like path. He
Ex-
just does whatever he wants.
exactly, and another thing also is that if you look at all the like the shonen troops, it's like also there's no such thing as the power of friendship in One Piece. That is non-existent in One Piece. It's like you either train and make sure you are overpowered, or you just got wrecked. That's basically the
Yeah.
power scaling in One Piece. Like, there are people in that show that can literally slice up mountains, but with their fingers and stuff like that. Like, their power scaling is ridiculous for that show. But I love it because it's like, it just shows you like how expansive this world is, like these islands and things like that, like how much of a threat like certain pirates are. Like, there are pirates that they will mess you up,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Lot
Like,
of enemies.
exactly. Like, and another thing also is like about One Piece is that every single main character like that's on Luffy's crew, like Luffy's friends, they all have their own
Yeah.
goals. They're not there because because Luffy. First of all, they're there because Luffy made them to. Like, Luffy's like, I want you on my crew, and they're like, no, I don't want to be on your crew. Too bad, you're in my crew, and they're on his crew. Like, that's just how he is. But they all have like their own goals. Like, literally, like the reindeer that's the doctor, which is Chopper. He's the doctor of he's the doctor. Yeah, go ahead, search up like Tony Chopper. That's their doctor, by the way. That's their doctor.
Their doctor looks like that.
That's their doctor, ladies and gentlemen. And
Aw.
yeah, exactly. And his goal is he wants to cure every single disease in the world. He wants to make sure that there's no incurable disease.
That's a really nice goal to have.
Exactly. And another thing also is that they all have the most like perfect of goals, but they have the most saddest backstories, dude. Like, literally, if another thing about One Piece is that if they introduce a character that will if they give you the backstory to a certain character, assume that they either died or they're gonna be on Luffy's crew, or they're gonna help Luffy in some way.
Jeez.
Like, their backstories will, oh dude, and for certain villains, like, oh dude, you're gonna cry. Like, One Piece knows when to make you happy, when to make you like hyped, and when to make you cry. That's just a fact. Like, that's just One Piece.
And that is like definitely a good thing. Like if a show can make you feel these emotions, then it's definitely doing a good job.
Dude, you can ask any One Piece, what is the most saddest death? The boat. When the boat got, we all cried when they had to burn a boat down because the boat couldn't sail further with them. Like, you cried for a boat. Like, that's One Piece for you. The fact that you cried because Luffy had to put down a boat. It's like,
A
damn.
boat.
Yeah. I may not be tearing up right now. Just being I think about it anyway. No, but yeah, that's One Piece. And it looks like we're almost at time. Now that I think about it.
Wow, has it really been an hour already?
Yeah, it's been an hour. You're not the first person to say that. Literally every person that's been on the podcast so far, they've said the same exact thing too. It's like, wow, it's been an hour. I'm like, yeah, it's been an hour. Like, I don't like structuring my podcasts. I don't like. I just want to have a conversation with you, and that's it. That's literally what the podcasts are. It,
That's cool.
yeah, so. Yeah, it's time. Do you want to say any final words? Any shout outs? Feel free to say all that by all means.
Let me think about that for a moment. You know what? Just shout out to anyone who's watching this, and shout out to all my friends. Shout out to the Games Cage community because that's how I found you guys in the first place.
Yeah.
Just you guys are all awesome.
Dude, that's dope. That's dope. I'm glad to be a part of that community too, and also expanding my community. Hopefully one day, hopefully I can get Fidel to collaborate with me in the future or something. But that's too ambitious. But
That
it is
would
what it
be.
is.
Oh, I would let him know. I'd let him know.
Yeah, it's fine. But all right. So for me, it's like the usual stuff. Hope you guys are doing safe. Hope you guys are having fun. Hope you guys are, making sure the day is going by smoothly, that everything's okay, everything's all positive. I hope you guys are smiling, like I always say at the end of my videos. Hope you guys are being happy, positive, optimistic, bright. If you're not, then always make sure that there's always that light at the end of the tunnel. There's always people that are gonna help you. I'm always here to make sure you get a chuckle or some form of entertainment, and just be positive, be happy. I love you all to 120, like I always say, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Love you all. See you all. Bye bye.
Adios.